We're once again on the path of St. Martin, and this is another source of water over here. It's a very pretty little, I suppose you'd call it a basin of water, in which there's an old stone font. Anyway, this was about 1,000 years a place where people came to treat leg problems and rheumatism. And they would dip their legs in the water of this fountain, of this spring, and drink the water as well. Here's Marlowe. He doesn't have any leg problems, but he does have a wonderful nose, and this is what I wanted to talk about today, Marlowe's nose. In the last few days, he's sniffed out the corpse of a roe deer. It wasn't a very smelly one, it had only been dead for about 24 hours, I think, but he found it. He's also managed to find a mouse and swallow it whole, and yesterday he dug into a riverbank and pulled out a slippery kind of reptile. I've never seen anything like it, but I managed to knock it out of his mouth and save its life. But Marlowe has a very good sense of smell, and as we proceed on our walk here, I'm going to tell you something about Marlowe's nose, his formidable nose. So the old joke is, of course, I say, my dog has no nose. Oh, how does he smell? Terrible. Well, my dog does have a nose. Marlowe has a nose, and he has an incredible sense of smell. He is one of the breeds that has the most fully functioning sense of smell. His brain is about 1/10 of the size of mine, but the area in the brain that deals with smells, the olfactory region, is 40 times the size of mine, and his sense of smell is up to 100,000 times better than mine. Damn him. Anyway, we have in our noses 6 million smell receptors. His breed, has about 225 million, just to give you some idea. They say that we can smell a teaspoonful of sugar in a cup of coffee, which I think is true. I tested that theory this morning. But he could smell a teaspoonful of sugar in a volume of water the size of 2 Olympic swimming pools. Clever boy. We'll have to find 2 Olympic swimming pools and a teaspoonful of sugar just to test that theory. Also, his nose is made differently. The part inside our nose which captures smells, if it was unrolled, it would be about the size of a postage stamp, whereas his would be more like the size of A4 paper. And if you look at a dog's snout and his nostrils, the nostrils move independently of each other. This allows him to work out what direction a particular smell is coming from. And you have the nostrils at the front, but there are also slits on the side. This allows him to smell constantly because he's exhaling the air that he's breathing through the slits, but inhaling information, olfactory information, through the front nostrils all the time. Now when he breathes in, the air is channeled in 2 directions, to his lungs, but also to a special area. 12% of the air goes to a special area of what they call turbinates, where the molecules are analysed to pick out the smells. And he has a unique organ, which we don't have, called the vomeronasal or Jacobson's organ. And the function of this organ is to pick up pheromones or body scents when the mating season is underway. He's always smelling us, of course. He can tell what you've eaten. He can tell lots of things. He can tell, they say, the time of day, because a person and a room and a house smells different according to the time of day. He can sense your emotions. If you're feeling anxious, you give off a particular kind of hormone which he can sense. And so his powers of empathy are very, very powerful. Also, we leave trails. In 1 minute, a human being walking along loses 50 million microscopic flakes of skin. Now, all of these he can sense. And of course, dogs are used to track missing people. If a dog crosses a path where a human being has walked, he can smell that human being, but he can also tell whether the person was going from left to right or right to left, because smell has a gradient. It's a vector, if you like, which dogs can pick up on. So hence the utility of dogs to us. They can find missing people, they can find dead bodies. Marlowe's particularly good at that. They can find drugs, explosives, weapons, tumours. They can sniff out cancer and various other things. They can also, as I said, smell the passing of time. So they can smell the past, how long ago a particular smell was left in a place, or the future. They can smell what's coming on a breeze or round a corner. And of course, dogs pee all the time. They leave their smell and they read the smell of other dogs. So the peeing and the sniffing are basically canine reading and writing. A dog walking along a street sniffing the dog smells is kind of reading the neighbourhood gossip. Not to be sniffed at, this ability of Marlowe's, not to be sniffed at all. He has the most amazing nose, and a beautiful nose, I must say too, and a lovely snout, one of his finer features. Something there, not quite sure what, and over here too, goodness me. What about over here? Really good spot. Goodness me, I don't know which way to turn. Amazing. In the middle of a little bit of underwood, a bus. A number 91 bus as well. If that's the Paris 91, it's a little bit off course. Descendre avant l'arrêt complet. Don't get off the bus until it has come to a complete stop. Well, I think it's safe to get off the bus, don't you, Mother? Yeah. Amazing. Some sniffing going on here. Hello. At least he doesn't bark, he seems quite sweet. He or she. Hello. Sniff, sniff. This is a sniff movie. If ever there was one. Ah. Marlowe, you spoilt it.